That on live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, council. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have agenda before us. I was just wondering if there's any additions to the agenda.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Council. On behalf of administration, we'd like to add in the following items to the agenda. Under 9, new business. 9.5, financial and strategic services. 9.5.1, bylaw number 1938, municipal credit card borrowing bylaw. Under 12, closed session, we would like to add 2 items. 12.2, ICFs, or also stated as Inter-Municipal Framework Discussion, ATIA Section 26. Second item, 12.3, Advice from Officials, ATIA Section 29. That's the only items administration would like to add.
All right, thank you. Is there any other additions from council? I'm not seeing any. I'm looking for a motion to adopt the amended agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Duchesne, for making that motion that council approves adoption of the agenda as presented. Any discussion, council, on this? Josh? Oh, you threw your hand up. It's all right. Any other waves to the crowd? No? All right. I'll call for the vote then. That's going to be a fun meeting, I can tell already. That's carried. Thank you. Sorry. Looking for the adoption of the minutes regular meeting of council, August 11, 2026. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk, for making that motion. It doesn't seem to be coming up for me. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk. Once again, that council approves adoption of the minutes August 11, 2026, regular meeting of council as presented. Any discussion on this, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. Let's go on to development application 7.1.
Good morning, Reeve Council.
Morning.
This is development permit application 2026-D-169 for Bill and Lana Kenzie. The applicant is applying for an intensive recreational use to reestablish a campground for 150 sites on the northeast shore of Murray Lake. The property is located on the northeastern shore of Murray Lake, and adjacent properties are Crown land. The applicant received disposition number TCL24004 from the province for a recreational campground. The site had previously been developed under a different disposition, which has since been cancelled. The applicant will utilize the existing footprint while establishing a 35-meter undisturbed buffer from the lakeshore. This and other changes, such as creating pull-through lots, will bring the total number of campsites down to 150. They will utilize existing walking trails and roads and avoid tree and vegetation removal. They will offer porta potties, contract waste and water services, and bear-proof garbages and recycling containers. They plan to have administration offices with a small store, playgrounds, gazebos, maintenance shed, and other small support structures. They operate seasonally from May 15th to September 15th, with leeway from May 1st to September 30th. All belongings of the campers will be removed at the end of the season, and campground rules were provided to administration. Murray Lake Area Structure Plan from 1988 illustrates this area for potential recreation use. Okay. This development, oh, sorry. No adjacent landowner letters were sent out as there are no adjacent landowners. Referrals were sent to the MD's Infrastructure and Public Services Department and the Bonnyville Regional Fire Authority for comment. Concerns were raised regarding safety during an evacuation or an emergency, as the access road is narrow, and these concerns were passed on to the applicant. This road is a disposition from the province, which means it does not have to meet the MD standards and will not be maintained by the MD. We did receive a letter of concern from Cold Lake First Nations, which was forwarded to council, and we would like to acknowledge the concerns submitted. Recommendation for development application 2026-D-169 is approve the request for an intensive recreation use for a campground for 150 campsites as a discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.6 and Part 7, Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions. As per Section 7.3.2 of the Land Use Bylaw 1915, the minimum setback shall be front yard 38 meters, side yard 6 meters, rear yard 6 meters. Applicable building, electrical, gas, plumbing, and sewer permits are required as per the Alberta Safety Codes Act. Shall comply with Consolidated Public Safety Number 1812 regarding noise and nuisance. Shall enter into a road use agreement with the MD for Range Road 423. The developer shall ensure that emergency vehicle access is not obstructed at any time. Campground design and maintenance shall have regard for Fire Smart Guidebook for community protection as amended from time to time. Fire pits shall be approved by the Bonnyville Regional Fire Authority. And as per Section 6.13.3 of the Land Use Bylaw 1915, a minimum building setback of 30 meters is required from the high water mark of any water body to which the Crown claims ownership unless a geotechnical engineer study is prepared by a professional engineer illustrating that a lesser setback is suitable. We do have the applicants here and their consultant if you have further questions.
Deputy Reeve Fadeev, then Councillor Palmer.
Good morning. Thanks for the application. In regards to the campsite itself, is it going to be manned all the time? Is there some, like, will there somebody be there all the time?
Yes, they will have staff there. During the season.
During the season, of course. Thank you. Yeah, some of the residents around the Murray Lake is just some concerns are, 150 campsites, 2-3 people, the quads, just up and down that road are just some of the concerns that I've heard from residents over at Murray Lake. So overall, it's been there before, so I assure them that shouldn't impact their way of life there. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks.
Councillor Palmer.
Through the Reeve to Christie, what is the requirement for approval? What is our or refusal? What is our time frame before we have to have an approval or a decision by what date?
40 days after the application has been accepted. And the application was accepted on, bear with me.
Sorry.
There's a lot of information in this application. So, sorry. July 30th.
Thank you. And being its discretionary use, this is appealable, correct?
That is correct.
Are there any water wells on this site currently? Water wells? Sorry. Currently on that site, are you aware of any for potable water?
That was not looked into as
Just
water wells
curious
are.
if I could ask, yeah.
yeah.
And with Deputy Reeve Fadeev, the question in regards to ATV, are you prepared to provide some restrictions, guidelines, that sort of thing?
Yes, there is no quad or ATV on the campsite. They have to take their quads
Perfect. Thank you. I'm done.
Counselor DeShane. Oh, sorry, were you done? All right, sorry about that.
Just an answer to the question to Councillor Palmer. There was a water well drilled there years ago, and they abandoned it, somebody abandoned it properly by the records shows. So it was there and it's gone now.
Thank you, Counselor DeShane. Any other questions or comments, or someone like to make a motion?
Just another quick question in regards
Okay.
to the campsite. So that was remediated before, between the old caretakers and the new ones coming through?
Like everything was.
Yeah, the question is just for our staff. Yeah, no problem. Because people can't hear you, so.
So we did not receive any information to tell us how far the remediation was.
And that's up to the
went.
province and all that
That
stuff,
is up to the
right?
province, yes.
Okay, just because there was some challenges there, so.
Yeah.
Just wondering if these guys are gonna get
Taking responsibility for it, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
get a headache. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor DeShane.
Yeah, in light of the fact that there will be somebody looking after that area properly, I would like to make a motion to go with option 1.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Counselor DeShane, for making this motion that council approves development permit application number 2026-D-169 for intensive recreation use for a campground for 150 campsites at Northwest 2165 to west of the 4th M, Southwest 2865 to west of the 4th M, and Southeast 2965 to west of the 4th as discretionary use as per Part 6, Section 6.6 and Part 7, Section 732 of the Land Use Bylaw with the following conditions before you, council. Any discussion on this motion? I see none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break. All right, thank you. All right, let's go to 9.2.1 before we have our public hearing. Let's see if you girls can do them both. Morning, ladies.
All right.
It's right there.
Right. Item 9.2.1, administration is requesting a decision for second and third reading of bylaw number 1930, authorizing the MD to close and dispose of by direct sale at fair market value a portion of public roadway as described in Appendix A and in accordance with the disposal of roadways policy. The applicant has requested to close, purchase, and consolidate approximately 4.65 acres of undeveloped road allowance into their adjacent parcel as requested. The area is a forced road allowance, and closure of the same would not hinder legal access to any neighboring property or utility corridor. Bylaw number 1930 received first reading on March 24th, 2026. Referral letters were sent to various utility providers as well as landowners adjacent to the closure area. A public hearing was held on May 12, 2026, with no attendance, and one letter of concern was presented for consideration. Approval from Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors was obtained on July 28, 2026. If the bylaw proceeds to second and third readings, the applicant will purchase the lands at fair market value as determined by the MD Assessment Department and will be responsible for all survey and land title registration costs related to the consolidation. Administration is recommending that bylaw number 1930 be given second reading and if carried, be given third reading.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
I'd like to make motion for second reading.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer for making this motion that bylaw number 1930 being a bylaw of the municipal district of Bonneville number 87 for the purpose of closing for public traffic and disposing of portions of a public roadway be given second reading. Any discussion on this motion, council? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. Third, please. Okay, thank you, Councillor Amalia, for that motion, that bylaw number 1930 be given third reading. Any discussion on this, council? That was tricky because I was looking at Councillor Deshane and saying Councillor Amalia. Any discussion? No? All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried as well. Thank you. 9.2.2.
Item 9.2.2, administration received an application to amend the land use bylaw. Bylaw number LU 584 proposes to rezone Plan 9525202 Lot 1 and Plan 9622448 Lot 2, both within Northwest 8617, west of the 4th Meridian, from Rural Commercial District RC to Country Residential District CR. Both parcels are currently zoned Rural Commercial District pursuant to bylaw number LU 121, which was adopted in 1989. The current and intended future use of Plan 9525202 Lot 1 is country residential, and rezoning to the Country Residential District will bring the parcel zoning into compliance. The former use and current zoning of Plan 9622448 Lot 2 is Rural Commercial District. The landowner intends to convert the former commercial structure into a residence, therefore rezoning to Country Residential District is required. Bylaw number LU 584 was given first reading on June 23rd, 2026, and a public hearing was held August 11th with no attendance or concerns received. Administration is recommending that council give second and third reading to bylaw number LU 584.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making a motion that bylaw number LU 584 being a bylaw of the municipal district of bylaw number 87 to amend bylaw number 1915 land use bylaw be given second reading. Any discussion? I see none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Third. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk, for making that motion that bylaw number LU 584 be given third reading. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Palmer, I think you had your... Yeah. Okay. Okay. It was a quick wave by Councillor Crick, so. All right, we're a couple minutes. Should we wait right till 9:30 for this? Or you guys have more?
Good to go.
Yeah, I think I'll start this and it'll be 9:30 by the time you get. All right, we have a public hearing here, bylaw number 1934, road closer and disposal. Before we begin the public hearing, bylaw number 1934, road closer and disposal, I'd like to announce that this public hearing will include both in-person and electronic participants, is being recorded and will be accessible for public viewing. Additionally, I would like to remind in-person attendees who wish to address any of the public hearings on today's agenda to register your name on the speakers list at the entrance of council chambers. I would also like to outline the process to be followed for this public hearing. We will begin with a staff report from administration, also presenting as the applicant, followed by questions from administration from council. We will then call upon members of the public who wish to speak in support of the application, followed by those who wish to speak in opposition of the application. Council may ask questions of the public presenter during this time only. Participants will be called to speak in order they appear on the registered list, starting with electronic participants, followed by in-person attendees. Registered virtual participants must ensure their camera is off and microphone muted, except when it's their turn to address council. When addressing council, participants must clearly state their name and if they are speaking on their own behalf or on behalf of other persons or a group. The MD reserves the right to immediately remove any participants who are continuously disruptive to the public hearing, present in an inappropriate manner, including virtual attendees on camera, and/or use inappropriate language. The applicant will have the chance to address and rebuke any opposition to their application, followed which council will have the opportunity to ask questions based solely on the information presented during the rebuttal. Finally, we will entertain any final questions of council to administration before closing the public hearing. May I have a motion to go into public hearing? Councillor Palmer?
I make the motion to go into public hearing.
Okay, thank you. We're going into public hearing. Councillor Palmer made the motion to go into public hearing at 9:30. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Okay.
Administration received an application to close and dispose of by direct sale at fair market value a portion of public roadway as described in Appendix A and in accordance with the disposal of roadways policy. The applicant has held a roadway licensing agreement since 2008 for cattle grazing between adjacent quarter sections and now is requesting to close, purchase, and consolidate approximately 4.41 acres of undeveloped road allowance into their adjacent property. The closure will not affect access to neighboring lands or utility corridors. Bylaw number 1934 was given first reading by council on June 9th, 2026. Referral letters were sent to adjacent landowners and utility providers that may be in the area of the closure with no concerns received.
Thank you. Any questions from administration? Any questions from the applicant? There is no written submissions that have been provided in the agenda package. I don't believe there's anyone that wishes to speak for or against. No rebuttal. Any final questions? All right, I'm looking for a motion to close this public hearing. Councillor Deschênes?
I'll make a motion to close this public hearing.
At 9:32, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making this motion to the public hearing for item 4.1 bylaw number 1934, road closure and disposal will be closed at 9:32 a.m. Any discussion on this motion, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. We're looking at to go to 9.3.1.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Today I have bylaw number 1941, Assessment Review Board bylaw. So this bylaw has been prepared by administration for Council's review. It establishes the Assessment Review Board for the Municipal District of Bonnyville and provides a current governance framework for administration and conduct of assessment reviews in accordance with the Municipal Government Act. The proposed bylaw number 1941 would repeal and replace the current bylaw number 1875 and any amendments. So this proposed bylaw clarifies the board's composition, appointments, quorum, hearing procedures, clerk responsibilities, electronic participation, and appeal administration, which will support consistency, procedural fairness, and administrative efficiency. It is attached as Appendix A for council's review. Today, administration is looking for first reading of the bylaw.
Counselor Palmer?
I'd like to make the motion for first reading to the bylaw.
Thank you, Counselor Palmer, for making this motion that the bylaw number 1941, being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Montreal number 87, to establish the Assessment Review Board for the municipality to be given first reading. Any discussion, council? I don't see none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. 9.5. I think it's 1938. Can't read my chicken scratcher.
Good morning, Reeve and Council.
Morning.
Administration has prepared a municipal
Donna.
credit card borrowing bylaw to authorize the borrowing of up to $200,000 for credit card purchases. Corporate credit cards are used as an operational payment tool to facilitate efficient purchasing, online transactions, and other approved municipal expenses where conventional procurement or payment methods may be less practical or timely. Bylaw number 1938 received first reading on July 14, 2026. The proposed bylaw would increase the authorized credit limit to a level that better reflects current operational requirements, provide sufficient capacity to support municipal operations, and to align the municipality's borrowing authority with present-day needs. Payments on each corporate credit card will be made monthly by the due date. Bylaw number 1938 was advertised in accordance with provincial and municipal requirements, requesting ratepayers make any concerns known prior to August 11, 2026. No concerns were received. Attached for council's review is Appendix A, bylaw number 1938. If passed by council, bylaw number 1938 will be posted on the MD's website. Administration's recommended action is that bylaw number 1938 be given second reading, as well as bylaw 1938 be given third reading.
Thank you. Councillor Crick.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for second reading.
Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion that bylaw number 1938 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87 for the purpose of the municipal credit card borrowing and to be given second reading. Any discussion, council, on this? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Looking for third, please. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk, for making the motion that bylaw number 1938 be given third reading. Any discussion, council?
Yes.
Councillor Deschênes.
Just a quick question to CAO. How many of these credit cards will be out there?
I'll refer to finance.
Through the Reeve to Councillor Deschênes, I don't have an exact figure on me. The credit cards will be issued based on operational need to positions that would have a requirement for them.
Thank you. Any other discussion, council? All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go to correspondence and information, 10. Oh, sorry.
We
I
missed
must have-
9.4.1, Mr. Reeve?
I must have missed something because my thing's lighting up like a Christmas tree here. What did I miss?
9.4.1.
Yes, I did. 9.4.1. I apologize. Thank you, council, for catching that.
Good morning, Reeve Council.
Morning.
I'm here to present an RFD with regards to the Industrial Incentive Grant Program Policy Amendment, policy number C2A062. Administration has presented and amended to policy C2A062, the Industrial Incentive Program Policy, for Council's consideration. During the review of the administration drafted the amendments of the policy provided clarity associated with the retention and attraction of businesses to appropriately zoned existing areas within the MD as part of an industrial infill process to enhance development opportunities and to generate revenue for the MD. Attached is Appendix A, the policy amendment for C2A062. I apologize for what appears to be my confusion. I'm looking for highlighted areas.
It's next page up. Just scroll up one. There we go.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you. Would you care that I read this directly to you, or would you?
I think we all read it. If someone has something, yeah, we read it through it.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point in time, I would like to ask for the indulgence of Councillor Palmer, who helped us craft this, these small changes to the amendments. Is there anything that you would like to add at this point in time, Councillor Palmer?
No, I went through the bylaw, and we have addressed versus use and zoning, which is what we open the door to all applicants that have industrial use as well as zoning, and not specifically just zoning. So we're not in a position of zoning properties without reason, because ultimately through the agriculture zoning, it provides industrial use. So you're not zoning these parcels all over the MD. So this definitely provides clarity. So
Thank you for your input, Councillor Palmer. Appreciate that.
Councillor DeShane.
Thank you to the review. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Councillor Palmer. And anything that we can add to these policies will make our municipality more inviting, not just more financially viable to the municipality, but just brings us more into light and more inviting for everybody. Thank you.
All right, council, just looking for a motion. Councillor Palmer. Thank you. Councillor Palmer for making this motion that council adopts amending policy number C-2A.062 MD Industrial Incentive Grant Program Policy as presented. Any discussion on this motion? All right, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. Carried. Thank you. Now can I go into number 10? All right.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Council.
Morning.
I'd like to take you through correspondence and information. Under correspondence, we have 6 items. The one I'd like to review is 10.3. We have a thank you card from the Bonneville District Chamber of Commerce. We supported their golf tournament, which they raised money for scholarships. So a big thank you from them to you. Under information, it's exciting to make this statement. I have in front of me, I believe, a second place win. I'm going to ask the Reeve to indulge us on this second place win, please.
Oh, that's from the car show. Yes, I attended the car show in Coal Lake. Not really wearing the Reeves hat. I was wearing hanging a 30 hat that day. I'm a director there, and they wanted someone to go down there to appreciate the crews. So I said I'd go do it, and they've given a lot of money over the years. The Coal Lake Cruisers, is that their correct name? Yeah, Coal Lake Cruisers. They've given thousands of dollars over the years to this hang in the 30s. So, but then I had a little bit of reeve duty there. Ben and I were there, and we did a little bit of a Lakeland Connect kind of video. Kind of talked about Highway 28 again, and Ben did as well. Just a little bit of politics on the side there. But anyway, I just want to thank the cruisers for the money they give to our area to fight cancer. It's very big of them, and they've been doing it for years, so I'm very proud of that organization. It was a great turnout. They do a bang-up job there in Coal Lake, so kudos to them on that. So, yeah, and then I guess a few people voted for my wife's Malibu car, and I got a trophy, or she got a trophy, so that's where that came from. So, very humbled for that. Thank you.
That's the cover for correspondence information on behalf of administration.
All right, Councillor Palmer.
I just have a quick question in regards 10.6. So when this comes to council, so it's the County of St. Paul asking us to support their initiative at RMA. So when it goes into like as a correspondence, are we addressing that with the county that we are supporting their request? If that's the right one. So.
Good question.
'Cause
Go,
to me,
Deputy
it
Reeve Fadeo.
seems that if it goes to information or as correspondence, that we're not actually addressing it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information on this, which should be, like if we're going to support this, we need to know more. I know for one of the conversations we had with a pipeline company, because it's a pipeline, there's no need for this extra, because they've been doing pipelines forever. They know what the risk assessments are and what they're going to be. So this is nothing new. So this risk assessment is not needed by AER.
But AER, they're not required, they're not requesting it. So is there other CO2 pipelines out there other than the pathways?
There's pipelines everywhere. I think we have them running through our MD. Pipeline's a pipeline.
CO2 though, I'm
It doesn't matter if it's running fluid or CO2. The general idea is it's still a pipeline, and they conform by all the proper
Regulations.
all the regulations doing that. So,
Okay, gotcha,
and there is other ones as well. Yes.
gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions, or someone like to make a motion? Excuse me. Yeah? Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making the motion that council accepts the following correspondence as information, 1 through 6, I believe. Any discussion on this, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you. All right, we'll start with reports from council, and we'll see if we can get a few in before our 10 o'clock. Councillor Deschênes.
I'm having a hard time recalling when our last meeting or what.
The 11th, I think.
What we've attended. There was quite a bit
I think it
going
was the 11th, I'm not sure.
Since then, I went on a exclusive trail ride on the Iron Horse Trail with the group that operates the trail, and got to see all the scenery, the history, and everything on that trail from Wassetna to St. Paul, and lots of stops along the way, lots of history. Items like the town of Ashmont has been moved due to the railroad siding distances back in history. The sidings were every so many miles, and the railroad said that they would not put a siding in Ashmont where it was at the time, so they had to move it to where it is now, and they just skidded all the buildings over to the site they are now, and called it a town. So
Okay.
the railroad moved through there, but so many historic items and stops along the way. It was very interesting. I didn't plan for that, but it was well-informed, and the group was really good to listen to and learn from. So I appreciate Mary Ann Yankee's historical advice and learnings, and the same with Dale Hedrick and his group from groups of people that were all part of that, from pool halls to towns moving to the steam engine at what they call Abilene Junction, where we fork off the rail lines. They had a steam engine just to build up steam to add to the trains that were coming through to make the distances between water stops. So lots of crazy, funny history there that nobody ever knew about. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Since then, just in the ICF negotiations with the town of Bonnyville, part of that. So happy to help in any way I can with the group. That's all I have. Thank you.
I stopped in at Ashmont because he said there's the best chicken wings there ever. There's a little place called The Den, and he had these chicken wings, and they were some of the best chicken wings I ever had in the back 40 in Ashmont, so pretty cool.
Yep.
I think that building was skidded there as well. Councillor Crick, I think, was next on the list, yeah.
Yeah, I missed the meeting on the 11th. But I just got to go back a little bit further. I attended the Hang in the 30s. It was a great event and really appreciate what they do. And thank you, Barry, for being a director there and for all the work that you guys put in there. It's very much appreciated. I stopped by on the rolling barrage which came through town. So I stopped by there, but I had to leave early because I had a special library meeting. The town of Bonnyville is planning to build a new building for the FCSS and the library. So had a meeting about that, and then the next day had an FCSS meeting about the same thing. Had a lodge meeting in Glendon, like on lodge and housing, and I think the main point from that one is we adjusted the point schedule. The province has allowed us to do a slight adjustment there on the points, whereas there's a waiting list but it's not based on who's on the list first to get into the lodge. It's who has the most points to get in. And they were giving 20 points to seniors that were under a certain low income threshold. So they've allowed us to kind of make a scale there where some seniors that still have a higher income can still get some points. Because we talked about it at the meeting, we don't want to just penalize seniors that have worked hard and saved and still have some income. The lodge isn't specifically for low-income seniors, it's a service for the seniors that have worked and developed this area. So we adjusted that scale accordingly. Joined the staff for their supper at their golf day, working on the ICF meetings, although I gotta say thank you to Councillor Palmer for all the hard work she's putting into that. And that's it for me.
Thank you. And Councillor Kaluk, and then we'll probably break for our 10 o'clock, all right? Sorry? Sure.
I was gone for most of it, but I did make it back for the Gear Grabbers event. Very interesting. I did ask for VIP parking there, and the lady sent me to the far back corner. Not mentioning Stephanie's name too loudly, but it was a great event. Good turnout. Got my ears rang a little bit with a funny car going by, but it was a lot of fun.
I hear that funny car is the loudest thing on earth almost, yeah. Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Reeve. I was actually invited to the Bonnyville Indian Métis Rehabilitation Center. I felt when I walked in that building, the warmth the staff and clientele provide, like it was such a warm environment, and they walked me around, gave me a tour, their program. They have a 6-week program which if you look into addictions, they claim that's not remotely close to what a lot of addictions need. But in asking a lot of questions and understanding the program, they have very little return on this 6-week program. The warm environment, I think, plays a really big role. And at the end of this visit, I felt very honored to be invited in the center, simply because it seems like a very closed center. And it actually isn't. It's welcomes people who want to let them know. They welcome you to go on Thursdays because they have a ceremony on Thursdays. That's usually when people are graduating from the program. I was really happy to see the people outside, inside the community receiving the help that these programs are providing. And hopefully we can get more of these programs, because it's a good one, which we know nothing about for the most part. So it was inspiring. From there, I did also go to the Haying in the 30s, the FCS meeting, Lakeland Lodge and Housing in Glendon, and sat at hole number 1 at the employee golf tournament and met quite a few that I didn't know, so that was great. That was the special hole of mats that they, and it was kind of funny because we had to hide behind the spruce tree when the men were hitting and not so much the women. And it was quite surprising because the little hump on that tee off, a lot of them hit that. They didn't even get off of it. How many were there? It was a lot of fun. Great having conversations and good laughs with staff. And that's everything.
All right, thank you. I think we're going to take 5 minutes before we go to the 10-minute or the 10. Are we ready? We are? All right. Welcome back. We are going into our delegation of CO2 Pipelines Alberta, and we're joined by?
Penny Fox.
Okay, she's on now.
Oh, Penny Fox.
Nice to have you here, Penny.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you. What a beautiful morning to be in Bonnyville. And I took the day off work, or the morning off work, to come in and do this little delegation with you. I am Penny Fox. I'm a resident of the County of St. Paul. I'm a regular, everyday person, works a full-time job, has a little side hustle, but found myself in a strange position where looks like I will be an adjacent landowner to the proposed Pathways Alliance pipeline that's coming through our region. Emil Shapka is normally traveling around with me. He is also a neighbor to that pipeline. He had a family event today, so I told him I'd come on my own. And we're all trying to cram summer into these last couple of weeks of good weather. But thank you. Thank you to all of you. I don't like having my back to people. For giving me a few minutes just to explain where we're at. So you can see the map on the screen. I live at the very end, if you see the very end of that pipeline, south of St. Paul. Those of you that are familiar with the Lac Bellevue area, right by the Lac Bellevue Hall, that's where my husband and I live. We have an acreage there and we do a little bit of farming. That pipeline ends right across the road from where we live. In 2023, we started hearing rumors. You know what it's like in a rural municipality. Landmen started showing up with the neighbors, and the neighbors got talking and thought, what is this all about? Oh, there's a pipeline. No one was really concerned at that time. It's just another pipeline. We were told it was just another pipeline. And so the landmen were getting easement agreements and agreements with the landowners to do this project. It was Emil Shapka that realized he had someone call him and say, can you help us understand this paperwork we've been given? And it was he that realized that this was not just another ordinary pipeline, but it was in fact the Pathways Alliance at that time. They're now the Oil Sands Alliance, but the Pathways Alliance was proposing to put in the world's largest pipeline, 600 kilometers from Fort McMurray, down through our entire region, all of our regions right down to St. Paul. And then they were going to store that carbon under our feet. And so none of us really knew what that meant. So we gathered, the neighbors had some coffee, shared some donuts, and started talking about what does this mean? Who's the oil sands, or who is the Pathways Alliance? Did we know any of them? We did know some employees of CNRL, which is one of the partners. We started talking. Once we realized that what CO2 was and the dangers of CO2, we kind of started asking more questions. And so my first question was to the County of St. Paul, my local representative, and it was Ross Krakowski at the time. And I went to Ross and I said, Ross, what can you tell me about this project? And he said, we don't really know anything about it. There's been no presentation to council. We don't know anything more than you do. In fact, I knew more because we were an adjacent landowner, and so there were legal notices that were sent to our house, which had some of the details. So I shared them with the county, shared them with the town, because this is going around the town of St. Paul, and started talking. I met with MLA Scott Sear, and it was through Scott that we sent some of our questions, and we continue to do that, and he's been meeting with CNRL and getting some of those questions answered and back to us. Not very many people knew what was happening. It was the adjacent landowners that had the idea of what was happening. And as we went, so that was 2023, 2024. In 2024, the Pathways Alliance did do an open house. I understand they did too, and I'm not sure if it was Cold Lake in St. Paul or if it was Bonnyville in St. Paul. I don't know if any of you can know. But they apparently did the morning in one community, and then they did an evening in St. Paul for about 4 hours. And they set up displays and kind of explained mostly what carbon capture was, because nobody really knew what that was at the time. We went with our questions. We got some of those questions answered. Some of them actually turned into more questions. But we went and we had coffee and we had donuts and we found out what they were doing, and they left. We've not seen them back since. So in the absence of that, we've had many people asking us what happened. As we got into, things kind of went quiet. The greenwashing rules actually required that the Pathways Alliance shut down their website for some time, so there was actually no information. So we started reaching out to other groups, and Keepers of the Water out of the Cold Lake First Nation actually was one that came to us and said, we're also concerned, and maybe we should start doing some town halls to tell people what this is all about. So we've done that. So we've spent most of this year. We did a town hall here in Bonnyville a couple of weeks ago. We had 75 people show up. We've been in Cold Lake, we've been in Mallaig, we've been in St. Paul, we've been in Lac La Biche, and we're also following that up with visits, now delegations to council. We're concerned. CO2 is very dangerous, and it's not just clean CO2. It's not the CO2 that we have in our soda streams or in our bubbly water. This is the CO2, in my understanding, and I'm not a professional. I have never worked in oil and gas. I know nothing about it. But from what we can understand, this is the emissions that are now coming off the factories in Fort McMurray that are going to atmosphere. So they're up through a smokestack up into the air. They are going to capture that CO2 and all of the other waste gases that are with it. They're going to turn it into a slurry, and they're going to push it down that 400-kilometer pipeline and also join it to other facilities along the way, all the way down here. And then they will have, there are numerous 14 to 16 injection sites. Well, they will inject that slurry into the ground more than a kilometer, between a kilometer and 2 kilometers underground. So we have concerns about the pipeline. We have some concerns about the carbon storage. Now there is carbon storage. There's carbon storage happening all over the world, and we've actually been in contact with another group in the UK that is fighting a similar battle. There's no project that is anywhere near the size of what this project is. We know, for those of you that are watching this or in the oil and gas industry, that there is a CCUS project outside of Edmonton, Stratford, I believe it's called, but they were pushing 1/10 of what this project is looking to push down or to inject. The documents, the official documents that I have from June 2024 say that they were going to put 10 to 12 megatons, so 10 to 12 million tons, metric tons of CO2 into the ground. We understand now from the MOU the latest MOU that's been signed with the province and the feds, that they've reduced that to 6 million tons of product into the ground per year. That's a lot. And I can't visualize how much that is because no one's been able to tell me, how many swimming pools is that or how many football fields is that. But it's more, I think, than we can comprehend. In 2024, this was a $16.5 billion project. We understand now that that project is well beyond the $20 billion mark. And from all the reporting that we've been able to gather, it looks like over 70% of that will be subsidized in one way or another with taxpayer dollars. So that's also a concern. Not the major concern, though. We are dismayed, disappointed, upset that we understand that this project is going to go through without an environmental impact assessment. Now, I'm sure as municipal councillors and municipal staff, you can all understand that you can't hardly fart without some kind of environmental assessment. I can only imagine if you went to build a new waste transfer station or a dump, or you wanted to landfill anything, you would be tied up for years in some kind of regulatory process to ensure that you aren't going to contaminate the ground or have any other problems. That's not the case. We have asked, many other organizations have asked for an environmental assessment, and we have been told, no, it will not happen. That scares me. Yes, it's costly, but how can they ensure to all of the communities, all of the residents along this line that we're not going to end up with a problem in the future? Our understanding, and we've spoken directly with the landmen and with staff, and like I say, at the open houses, CNRL actually did send, we had the right as an adjacent landowner to have someone come to our home, and we did have a rep come to our home and answer questions. And it is our understanding that that pipeline has a lifespan of 40 to 50 years. So that's a long time. And in 50 years, I don't think many of us will have to worry about that, but certainly our children and our grandchildren will. The other thing that upset me is I spent the early part of my career in municipal government, and when I asked them why they were not visiting our municipal councils, the answer was that they didn't need to. They said municipal councils there's no licensing or regulatory permits needed on a municipal level, so we're simply working with the province, and we're not going to be working with our municipalities for permitting. But when I asked them who's going to do the emergency management on these sites, what happens if there is an explosion, a rupture, or a fire, they all told me that it will be our local responders that will be responding first. So that lands a municipality right into the middle of this mess, as you are the ones that are running your fire authority in your case. You're the ones that are working on the operating procedures. It's our family, our friends, and our neighbors that are volunteering to do that. Are they prepared? Are they trained? Do they have the equipment to do that? We know from a rupture in Mississippi, and I've talked to the fire chief there, fuel combustion engines do not work in a CO2 environment because of lack of oxygen. So when they had their rupture, they actually acquired some golf carts, and they went around their community with golf carts to pick up the people that were convulsing and unconscious and brought them to the hospital. I don't believe any of our fire departments have electric vehicles that will work in that situation. So that brings the discussion back to the municipalities. And I understand that when they do their safety plans, they will be coming to each of the municipalities and to our emergency operation center or fire chiefs, et cetera, directors of emergency management to talk about those things. So heads up, that's one of the reasons we're here, is a heads up that you will be asked to have those conversations. The other thing we're worried about is water. What we know is what goes down in the ground often doesn't stay in the ground, and it often doesn't stay in one place. They assure us that by injecting this fluid that deep into the ground that it will not move. We really are not sure, and we know that with The Alberta Energy Regulator has stated that the 4 earthquakes that have already happened in this province this year have been a result of injection in the province. So why would that change for this project? If there's an earthquake, that's going to open up some fissures, that product can move. We simply think that if you put pressure into anything, any kind of a vessel, even the earth, that pressure at some point is going to force that product to move. So what happens if that gets into our groundwater? Again, I have a well on my property, if I don't have good drinking water, my first stop is going to be my municipal council and say, what do we do about this? How do I get clean drinking water? This region, the Northeast region, is my understanding, I guess, I'm not an expert, but reading the latest Beaver River State report, this is where our water comes from. It all comes from one source into the Northeast. If we contaminate this aquifer, this area, we're all in trouble. Now, Pathways has said that they are going to have test wells and they're going to make sure that everything is okay. The problem is they won't know there's a problem until there's a problem, and then it's too late. We also understand that there are I lost the number, over 20,000 oil and gas holes in the ground in this Beaver River area. So we've already got that many holes in the ground. Is that a way that fluid can come back up? All of these things we don't know. These are the questions that we're asking. So public safety. Yeah, so what happens, right? And how does that involve the residents? As I said, if there is a rupture, there will be residents that will be in trouble and big trouble. Some could die, but they will definitely be very ill. How do we manage that? How does our health services manage that? What do we do? What can we do to mitigate that if there's a breach? And then again, emergency responders. The groundwater contamination, like I said, we are worried about that. All of us are worried. We all need water. And what happens if we don't have that source of groundwater or our rivers are contaminated where we're drawing water for our urban residents? And then the last thing we wanted to talk about and what we've really been looking for is what is the benefit of this $20 billion project coming into our community? And I'm not naive. I mean, there's an economic benefit, and we're looking for that economic benefit. I spend part of my life in that world. And so what is it? We've been trying to find the benefit, and we would like you to ask, when they come knocking on your door, what is the benefit? We know that there will be jobs, and there will be jobs, we understand, for 2 years in the construction of the pipeline. That first year to clear the land, the second year to build the pipeline. So there will be no doubt hundreds of jobs and vehicles and people and trades and that will need services to do that. Where are they coming from? Are they local and are they long-term? I was anticipating that at the end of the day, and I was only talking about St. Paul because that's the community in which I live, but I did ask the question, at the end of the day, how many people will be living and working and bring families to St. Paul? And I was told that there would be no more people working for CNRL in St. Paul than there are now. So if there's no more long-term good jobs, is the short term that much of an economic advantage? I don't know. But that's, again, the question that we have. We would like to see projects that bring people to our communities where they build houses, buy houses, put their kids in school, shop in our stores, volunteer. Most of us in the room are likely volunteering for 1, 2, 3, 4 different organizations. Those people that come to a project are here for 2 or 3 months and gone is not really the kind of sustainability that I would hope that our municipalities are looking for. So our ask, we're not looking for money. We're not a delegation that's looking for money. I'm not a delegation that's looking for fame. What we're looking for is to spread the message about this and create awareness. At each and every one of our town halls in Bonnyville was no different. More than 80% of the people in the room had no idea. They'd heard about this project simply because of all of the press that's been around the MOUs with the federal and the premier and the prime minister. So they knew that it somehow tied into that. They knew it somehow was a pipeline, but they didn't understand that this was coming into literally some of our backyards and front yards, and that it was coming into our community. So we're trying to create awareness, and we know that, that there's usually press at the events that we do, and we also wanted to let as many people know, as many councillors know that we could, and as many ratepayers out there as well. We would also have the hope and have the ask that your municipality would ask for an environmental assessment. That's the request that we have made to the councils that we've been at. We've been to the town of Bonnyville, we've been to the county of St. Paul, the town of St. Paul, and the town of Elk Point. We also have appointments with Lac La Biche, and I'm missing somebody in there. We also are doing some more town halls, and we're asking the same. We're asking our neighbors, we're asking our friends, we're asking our relatives, and we're asking the public to send a letter to the AER, send a letter to the Premier, send a letter to our MLA, send a letter to our MPs. The request for this project is federal. The requirement, in order for this province, our understanding is the order for this province to do any pipelines anywhere, East Coast, West Coast, anywhere, this project must happen. That is a requirement by the Prime Minister through that MOU. It's federally mandated. So it's the federal government in which we're pushing here, because they are the ones that, for whatever reason which we don't understand, are requiring that this be done. We think it's because they also want to look at the other side of it. We need to clean up our oil. We need to clean up the reputation of Canadian oil and gas. We need to make it low carbon. I don't disagree with that. But how just moving the carbon from atmosphere into the ground is lowering that footprint, I fail to understand. You know, we're moving it. We're not getting rid of it. We're not using it. We're not recycling it. We're not finding another purpose. We are simply landfilling it, in my interpretation and the interpretation of others. I do believe, I also sent to council, Keepers of the Water has done a report, which was done in July. Please have a look at that. That talks about all of the things that we're worried about in much more detail than what we can do in 15 minutes. I'm open to questions. I can't guarantee that I can answer them because, like I say, I'm just an ordinary, everyday person. I have no expertise in oil and gas, but I'd welcome questions.
Councillor Deschênes.
Thank you for your presentation. I, in fact, live about 300 meters from that pipeline corridor.
Okay.
I'm still of the belief that how would I say it, it's a pipe dream.
That could be.
I'm not quite sure if it's going to go through. I was there when the federal government shut down the advertising and the information coming from the pathways. So, and I never understood what that was all about. But federal initiatives are always scary for me. And yes, there will be other projects coming through that are federally accepted, but we'll get away with a lot of proper, what do you call it?
Consultation.
Investigations, groundwater studies, all this, environmental impact studies. So I'm not sure that after watching this project on the way since its inception, I know people involved in it, I still don't believe it's going to happen, and I'm hoping that something is corrected before then. So, but good presentation, and I hope people get to understand more about this project and figure out what's going on there. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm glad we're not the only one that's frustrated.
Deputy Reid-Fadev.
Hey Penny, how are you? You guys mentioned you guys had meetings with the group and things like that. What did they tell you about the environmental assessment?
That there wasn't a requirement for it. I understand that it's expensive and it takes a long time. I understand also in the end, I mean, I'm not a lawyer either, but my understanding is all of these nation building projects, they want to push through regulations so that they can have everything done in 120 days. There's no way that they could do an environmental assessment in 120 days. They haven't been able to answer our correspondence in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So I don't, I mean, I just fail to understand how that's even possible.
Okay. Thanks. It's pretty simple. If there wasn't a carbon tax, this thing wouldn't be happening.
That was one of the questions we asked, and I got a fairly complicated answer that didn't say much. But yeah, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
And I think it's about money. We also understand that 70% of the shareholders in these 5 companies that are now the Oil Sands Alliance are not Canadian-owned. So, we're trying to follow the money as well.
Any other questions? All right, any other comments?
No, other than, we do have a website. We've got a number of volunteers and organizations that are helping us from across the country. And so I have no expertise in websites. I have no expertise in anything like that. We do have a website. We do have an email address if anybody, just email us. We're doing a one-page monthly newsletter just to kind of keep everybody in the loop of what's happening. But like I say, we don't think anything's going to happen tomorrow, but we do believe that they are working on it, and we need people to understand this is indeed could come to our communities.
Any other questions? What do you expertise in then?
Volunteering. I actually have a full-time job. I work for Community Futures in St. Paul, so I generally encourage economic development. This is outside of that work because I cannot be political in that work. So my board has allowed me to step outside of work to do this, and so I am on a vacation today to come and do this work. But yeah, and I used to be a CAO of the village of Cremona years ago, and I used to do economic development up in the MD of Smoky River and Falher. Mm-hmm. So this is totally not where I ever thought I would be.
Very good.
The one part she missed is a family of drag racers. She forgot to
I
mention that.
am a family of drag
Forgot to mention that
racers.
part.
I am a family of drag racers. I don't drag race, but thank you. They're not drag racing this week, but yes, my brother, sister-in-law, 2 nieces, nephew are drag racers, and my 3-year-old great niece is looking for her first race car. But thank you.
There you go. Any other questions or any other? Well, thank you for this presentation today.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. And just looking for a motion, Council.
I'll make that motion.
All right, thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making that motion. The Council accepts the presentation by CO2 Pipelines Alberta as information. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. Well, thank you once again on behalf of Council. Have an awesome rest of the day and a safe trip back to St. Paul.
Sure. And if you have any questions, just give me a call. You know where to find me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm heading home in October. I might get in a race car.
Okay, Dan, do you have anything to report?
Lots in the last 2 weeks. Let's see. There was the MD staff appreciation in Ardmore, and that was a good afternoon, and got to sit down and chat with a number of different staff that I'd never met before. A lot of them in TNU and some others in parks as well. A couple or so C2 board meetings, a LARA board meeting in St. Paul, and then, as Josh mentioned, the Rolling Barrage event on Monday the 17th at the Bonneville Museum, and just able to be there. And then outside of council, I then went on the road with them for the next 3 days after that, down Bonneville to Hinton to Okotoks to Cranbrook, and then took a couple days to drive myself home after that. So yeah, it was about 2,600 kilometers on the bike in the last week or so. So it was a really good week, really good weather for it, and see a lot of the province. And tying back to our ag problems here, just seeing the difference between the stuff down in the the fields that are full and ready to harvest the wheat and barley down in the Three Hills and Linden area compared to coming up here and seeing all the puddles once you start coming north of Viking. So yeah, but still, it was really great to see the province and the mountains, so. And yeah, now back at it for the week.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve?
Yeah, thanks. As far as committees, we had our first library meeting yesterday. Just getting ready for budget, and like every library out there, we're struggling for new programs and new money. So it's always the thing, and we're happy to see 2 new board members. We're really challenged with finding people, being so close to the base. We had a lot of members that are military, and then they get posted out for a little while, and then you're short. So we're doing good that way. Just a couple of the events that were happening in and around the MD. Try to attend lots of them. It was a lot of fun. So gear grabbers, lawn tractor races in Cherry Grove. The Reeve had a good time there. Did you happen to see that rollover?
I did not.
No? Okay, yeah. So Aaron got ejected coming around a corner, and he had a, yeah, so anyways, he's good. Little sore, but he's good. Extreme Mud Fest in Coal Lake. Yeah, so they had a barbecue, and I want to thank BRFA for doing a barbecue over at Murray Lake for the Fire Smart program out there. It was awesome to see their support. And yeah, that's about it. Talking about seeing the province, I went to Clive, Alberta, and all the way there, I hit Highway 53 and 22 and a bunch of other ones, and they're just absolutely beautiful roads. Yeah, it was great to see.
Are you setting me up here, or
yeah,
what?
no, it was pretty. I think the road count must be, if I was going to guess, maybe 60 to 80 cars a day. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyways, it was pretty quiet roads that were absolutely incredibly beautiful. That's it.
Did you want to add to that, Dan?
Well, with his mention of roads, I would actually like to point out that, yeah, with the 175 or so motorcycles going down Highway 28, I heard a lot of comments about the condition of that one.
I bet you did.
I'll leave it at that.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. I just, we got an email from the government about the Highway 55-41 intersection, and they are kind of treating us like a bunch of kids. I felt like just like such a kindergarten, the way they're explaining to us how they do surveys on roads, and then they told us how that intersection has minor problems right now, and I'm just like, if that's the intersection that has minor problems in Alberta, we got problems, bigger problems than what we have there in LaCorrie. It was a very, I like Councillor Deschaines' comments, I won't say them, but he was right to the point. You know, if a motorcycle took off and went west from LaCorrie, he'd have a good chance of getting killed because the ruts are probably 4 to 5 inches deep, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, and probably 4 to 5 inches wide. And if a vehicle goes in there, it runs the rail. So I can't imagine what a motorcycle would do hitting that. And I think I have 2 motorcycle riders that kill you, it could. So for the government to tell us that that's a minor issue with the amount of traffic that's going through there. You cannot come through LaCorrie at any given time of the day almost and not meet a big truck there. It's like that'd be rare air. So yeah, I was very appalled by I don't know, we're not getting represented very well out there. So I just want to say that. And to a positive note, I sit as a director at Haying in the 30s, and the directors there wanted to thank the MD of Bonnyville for all that we've done there. All the little extras, and pass it on to staff from whatever we do, building picnic tables to bringing some gravel there and fixing the odd problem or whatever. The MD of Bonnyville really steps up, and I want to thank the staff and council. Seen a lot of you guys come down to help cook for the event and stuff, and it's the MD has been supporting Haying in the 30s for years, so just want to make sure you know that they're very thankful. And the people that they affect is They affect a lot of people with cancer, and that touches us all. Every one of us, we have some family member or someone we love dearly that is affected by cancer, and we're very blessed to have this organization with a few organizations in our area that really focus on cancer people. Also went to Cherry Grove, Deputy Reeve. I didn't see the crash. I did see this 5-gallon hat coming through the crowd, though. He had the biggest cowboy hat I think I've ever seen on him, or the biggest hat I've ever seen on him, and he stuck out like a sore thumb. But he actually has really suited him and really looked good. So he was well covered from the sun, and he was representing. And man, those things go a lot faster than I thought they could go. I was actually scared watching the one. It went like a dragster, like it was like on steroids, that one lawnmower. Had a C2 board meeting. Coal Lake Cruisers, I mentioned that before. ICF discussion. I'd like to thank the council that was there, and again, Caroline, she's kind of taken the bull by the horn there, and she's kind of looking it up. I just want to apologize to staff. I usually try to attend the golf tournament, and I had too many things happen the day before, and just really couldn't make it out, and I just want to apologize. It's I look forward to doing the golf tournament and meeting, the regular staff that I've known over here and the new ones that are coming up. I wish I could have been there, and I was going to try to make it to the supper, and I just had one of those days that I couldn't make it. So I apologize to staff, but I just want the staff and all you guys to tell staff how much I appreciate them, and I apologize for not making that event. It really means a lot to me when I go to that event, and I just couldn't make it. Gear grabbers, I went to the car show tonight. Also, Councillor Deputy Reeve Fideo was there. No hat this time. He's a big part of it. I talked to the former Reeve. He's building a rod. He showed me on his phone what he's doing. It's an incredible looking machine, and one of these days it'll be ready. But he knows quite a bit about that stuff, so he's very enthused of the pictures that he was showing me. And they do a great job there, the Gear Jammers, and I think it was a pretty good event. I didn't attend none of the races, but went by on Sunday. It looked like they were really repping up the track again. And that's about it for me. So thank you, Council, for all that you attended over the last 2 weeks and your reports. I appreciate it. I need a motion to go into closed camera now. Thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making that motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Oh, did you have? Oh. I think I snuck that one in too quick on. Fingers weren't quite ready, eh? Never? That was carried. Can't get by one by hers today. Thank you. Sure. I'm just waiting for the thumb. There we go. Welcome back. We're looking for some motions now. Steph, what is our first motion that we're looking for? All right, that's for the assessment boards, correct? Subdivision, okay, that's right. Who would like to make this motion? Councillor Deschênes.
To the Reeve, I'd like to make that motion to appoint the 2 members.
All right, thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making this motion that council appoints Corrine Beresford Lako and Marie Colva. Don't know the next name. Sorry, I apologize to both of these ladies. As members at large for the MD of Bonneville Subdivision and Development Appeal Boards, effectively immediately for a 4-year term to expire October 2030. Any discussion on this motion, Council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. I guess all those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Our next motion is okay, are you guys good with that? Would someone like to make this motion? Counselor Kaluk? Thank you, Counselor Kaluk, for making this motion that council appoints Counselor Palmer to intermunicipal collaboration framework committees as followed in the three before you. Any discussion on this, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. Or all those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Well, we turned our computers off for in camera, so I guess I'm the only one that didn't turn it back on, maybe. And one more motion coming out of camera. Okay, who would like to make this motion? Councillor Crick, thank you for making this motion that council adopts intermunicipal collaboration committee terms of reference with the town of Bonneville as amended. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing them. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And now we just need adjournment. Is that correct? All right, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you, council and staff. Great job.